Media and Information Literacy. Lesson 2. The Evolution of Traditional to New Media. Good day, learners. Our lesson for today focuses on the evolution of traditional to new media. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain how the evolution of media from traditional to new media shaped the values and norms of people and society, and make a timeline or historical record of your interaction with, and exposure to traditional and new media. Enjoy. The 4 important period of the evolution of traditional and new media. Pre-industrial age, before 1700s. Industrial age, 1700s to 1930s. Electronic age, 1930s to 1980s. Information age, 1900s to 2000s. In the pre-industrial age, people have discovered the following developments. Creation of fire. Aside from its being used to cook their food, they also used it in communicating as signal to other tribes or marker of a certain place. Making paper out of plants. People in that era created a form of writing and discovered the use of plants' trees as to where they could write. Forging weapons and tools with stone, bronze, copper, and iron. They learned how stones and metal can be useful in their everyday lives. In this age, history will also tell us about cave paintings, 35,000 BC. Illustrations of animals, plants, and things around them are being painted on cave walls by using sharp object as their brush or pen and using plant extracts or blood of their hunted animals. This is called parietal art. This art is prominent before in the Asian and European regions. Clay tablets in Mesopotamia, 2400 BC. Cuneiform script is one of the earliest form of writing that uses clay tablets. Example of that is the image you see in the side. Papyrus in Egypt, 2500 BC. Derived from papyrus, an ancient Greek for cyperus papyrus plant. It is a grass-like water plant found in the Nile region of Egypt. Printing press using wood blocks, 220 AD. This is a technique for printing text, images, or patterns used widely throughout East Asia and originating in China, in antiquity as a method of printing on textiles and later paper. In the industrial age, people have discovered the following. Using power steam. Developing machine tools. Establishing iron production. Manufacturing various products. And publishing books through printing press. Sample images can be seen on the side. In this age, history will also tell us about printing press for mass production, 19th century. A printing press is a device for applying pressure to an ink surface resting upon a print medium, such as paper or cloth, thereby transferring the ink. Typically used for texts, the invention and spread of the printing press was one of the most influential events in the second millennium. Newspaper, the London Gazette, 1640. The London Gazette is one of the official journals of record of the British government, and the most important among such official journals in the United Kingdom, in which certain statutory notices are required to be published. Typewriter, 1800s. A typewriter is a mechanical or electromechanical machine for writing characters similar to those produced by printers' movable type. A typewriter operates by means of keys that strike a ribbon to transmit ink or carbon impressions onto paper. Typically, a single character is printed on each key press. In this age, history will also tell us about motion picture photography/projection, 1890, and motion picture with sounds, 1926. Motion picture theory is simple and clear-cut. Motion film is composed of a series of still pictures. When the still pictures are projected progressively and rapidly onto a screen, the eye perceives motion, hence they become a motion picture. This is termed persistence of vision. In a conventional sound motion picture, 24 individual pictures are projected onto the screen in 1 second. The screen is black, for 1/96 second. While picture number 1 is blanked out, the film moves to picture number 2. The eye and mind retain the image of picture number 1 for that fraction of a second when the screen is black. If, for example, something in motion is being photographed, the difference between image 1 and image 2 is minute. The eye and memory record a smooth transition from picture 1 to picture 2. This is perceived as motion. Telegraph. Invented by Samuel Morse. The telegraph revolutionized long-distance communication. It worked by transmitting electrical signals over a wire laid between stations. In addition to helping invent the telegraph, Samuel Morse developed a code that assigned a set of dots and dashes to each letter of the English alphabet and allowed for the simple transmission of complex messages across telegraph lines. Punch cards, 1890. Also known as IBM cards or Hall-Erith cards, were used to control automated machinery or for data processing and consisted of stiff card with holes in predefined positions to represent data or commands. Meanwhile, in the electronic age, people paved way for the following developments. Inventing the transistor. Harnessing the power of transistors that led to the invention of transistor radio, electronic circuits and early computers. Improvement of the efficiency of the long-distance communication. Sample images can be seen on the side. In this age, history will also tell us about transistor radio. A small portable radio receiver that uses transistor-based circuitry. Following their development in 1954, made possible by the invention of the transistor in 1947, they became the most popular electronic communication device in history, with billions manufactured during the 1960s and 1970s. Television, 1941. On July 1, 1941, commercial television broadcasting officially began. In New York City, 3 stations, representing CBS, NBC, and Dumont, were on the air. Large electronic computers like EDSAC, 1949, and UNIVAC, 1951. Short for Electronic Delay Storage Automatic Calculator, EDSAC is an early British computer considered to be the first stored program electronic computer. It was created at the University of Cambridge in England, performed its first calculation on May 6, 1949, and was the computer that ran the first graphical computer game nicknamed Baby. 1951, the UNIVAC, created by Remington Rand, was one of the world's first commercial computers. The UNIVAC was able to predict the presidential election. Remington was able to sell 46 machines for over $1 million each. Mainframe computers like IBM 704, 1960. Informally called a mainframe or big iron, is a computer used primarily by large organizations for critical applications, bulk data processing, such as the census and industry and consumer statistics, enterprise resource planning, and large-scale transaction processing. A mainframe computer is larger and has more processing power than some other classes of computers, such as mini-computers, servers, workstations, and personal computers. Most large-scale computer system architectures were established in the 1960s, but they continue to evolve. Mainframe computers are often used as servers. The term mainframe derived from the large cabinet, called a mainframe, that houses the central processing unit and main memory of early computers. Later, the term mainframe was used to distinguish high-end commercial computers from less powerful machines. Personal computers like Hewlett-Packard 9100A, 1968, and Apple I, 1979. Hewlett-Packard 9100A is an early programmable calculator 3, or computer, first appearing in 1968. HP called it a desktop calculator because, As Bill Hewlett said, if we had called it a computer, it would have been rejected by our customers' computer gurus because it didn't look like an IBM. We therefore decided to call it a calculator, and all such nonsense disappeared. The Apple Computer 1, originally released as the Apple Computer and known later as the Apple I, or Apple I, is a desktop computer released by the Apple Computer Company, now Apple Incorporated, in 1976. It was designed and hand-built by Steve Wozniak. The idea of selling the computer came from Wozniak's friend Steve Jobs. The Apple I was Apple's first product, and to finance its creation, Jobs sold his only motorized means of transportation, a VW microbus, for a few $100s. Wozniak later said that Jobs planned instead to use his bicycle to get around, and Wozniak sold his HP 65 calculator for $500. Wozniak demonstrated the first prototype in July 1976 at the Homebrew Computer Club in Palo Alto, California. In the industrial age, technology users have enjoyed the benefits of microelectronics with the invention of the following: personal computers, mobile devices, and wearable technology. Sample images can be seen on the side. In this current age, the information age, we all can tell about the following: web browsers, blogs, social networks, microblogs, augmented reality, video chats, search engines. A web browser is a software application for accessing information on the World Wide Web. Each individual web page, image, and video is identified by a distinct URL, enabling browsers to retrieve and display them on the user's device. A blog, a truncation of weblog, is a discussion or informational website published on the World Wide Web consisting of discrete, often informal diary-style text entries. Until 2009, blogs were usually the work of a single individual, occasionally of a small group, and often covered a single subject or topic. In the 2010s, multi-author blogs, MABs, emerged, featuring the writing of multiple authors and sometimes professionally edited. MABs from newspapers, other media outlets, universities, think tanks, advocacy groups, and similar institutions account for an increasing quantity of blog traffic. The rise of Twitter and other microblogging systems helps integrate MABs and single-author blogs into the news media. Social media has become an integral part of modern society. There are general social networks with user bases larger than the population of most countries. There are niche sites for virtually every special interest out there. There are sites to share photos, videos, status updates, sites for meeting new people, and sites to connect with old friends. It seems there are social solutions to just about every need. Augmented reality is the blending of digital information into real-world spaces. When viewing the real world through a device, computer-generated content is layered over the physical world in order to add extra meaning. One example of augmented reality is Pokémon Go, where Pokémon appear on your phone to catch while pointing your camera at the Pokestop around you. Augmented reality is different from virtual reality, in that in a virtual reality environment you are immersed in a computer-generated alternate world, while in augmented reality physical reality is enhanced by digital content. Video chat is an online face-to-face visual communication performed with other internet users by using a webcam and dedicated software. Video chat is also known as video conferencing and video calling. A search engine is a software system that is designed to carry out web searches, internet searches, which means to search the World Wide Web in a systematic way for particular information specified in a textual web search query. The search results are generally presented in a line of results, often referred to as search engine results pages, SERPs. The information may be a mix of links to web pages, images, videos, infographics, articles, research papers, and other types of files. Some search engines also mine data available in databases or open directories. Unlike web directories, which are maintained only by human editors, search engines also maintain real-time information by running an algorithm on a web crawler. Internet content that is not capable of being searched by a web search engine is generally described as the deep web. Portable computers, laptops, 1980s. It is a little hard to determine which was the first portable or laptop computer, since the earliest portable computers to arrive did not look anything like the book-sized folding laptops that we are familiar with today. However, they were both portable and can sit on a person's lap, and did eventually lead to the development of notebook-style laptops. Smartphones, 1992. People didn't start using the term smartphone until 1995, but the first true smartphone actually made its debut 3 years earlier in 1992. It was called the Simon Personal Communicator, and it was created by IBM more than 15 years before Apple released the iPhone. Wearable technology includes wearable devices, tech tags, and fashionable electronics, consists of articles of clothing and or accessories that incorporate computer and advanced electronic technologies. Summary: the evolution of traditional to new media. We need to consider and give emphasis on prehistoric age into the digital age because of new innovations, from the simplest going to complex inventions. Without this eras, there will be no new technologies that occur at the present and for the next generation. The evolution of traditional to new media had shaped the values and norms of people and society. It is clearly shown in the discussed historical record or timeline. This has led to our exposure to traditional and new media.